Yes, I'm really doing a part 3 of ranking Imagine Dragons, with part 2 having released nearly a year ago. Anyway, after I made part 2, I was wondering if there were even more songs I missed, and it turned out there were. How did I know this? By looking at the Wikipedia page of every Imagine Dragons song. I know Wikipedia is not the most credible source, but what else was I going to use? While adding around 20 songs, I also decided to combine all my rankings from part 1 and 2 and rank for real every single Imagine Dragons song. Now, yes, as the title says, I will count remixes, but not only does Wikipedia not include all of them, but I doubt the Imagine Dragons YouTube channel does either. So if there was a remix I missed, there would be no way of me knowing. I also included a lot of unreleased songs, but some listed on Wikipedia have no recordings of them, at least that I could find. For example, songs like Black and Crash Course don't have any recordings. Next, for clarification, the main singer of Imagine Dragons is Dan Reynolds, so if I say something about Dan throughout this video, that's who I mean. Also, most of the songs I already reviewed in parts 1 or 2, which are in the description, are going to have a very similar script in this part than they did in the first two, because I was too lazy to re-listen to all 160 songs again. Some of the songs' ratings may be harsher than others because of me listening to too much Imagine Dragons in one sitting. Also, I will probably only rate these on how catchy they are, because I literally do not care what a song's message is. As long as it sounds good, I'm fine. Lastly, with all the criticism I have, I do not mean to hate on the Imagine Dragons members personally. I think Dan and the rest of the band are all really talented, and I hope they succeed in songwriting. Now, finally, with all that said, let's rank this band, hopefully for the last time. 174, Pistol Whip, really bad song. I can't pinpoint exactly why I don't like the song, but the girl singing does not at all fit with the song. I don't know how to describe the song without saying it is, for lack of better term, cringy. I do not know why I cringe at this song so hard, but I guess I just do. 173, Fear. What was this? When I started listening to this, I could hardly believe this was real, but no, this is a real song. I literally had to check if it was real. The instrumental sounds like they just pieced together some random soundboard sound effects they found laying around. But hey, this is still going above Pistol Whip because at least this was funny bad. 172, Demons Imagine Dragons remix. Yes, apparently this remix was from Imagine Dragons themselves. This song is pretty bad. The beat drop is good, but it lasts 10 seconds. But the moment before the beat drop sounds garbage and goes on for like a minute. I recommend you listen to the original instead. 171, The Fall. This song goes on for 6 minutes. 6 minutes. I think that explains enough. 170, Yesterday. The top comment of these videos are always something along the lines of, this song is an absolute masterpiece. Like, did we even listen to the same song? Anyway, sounds like trash. Next. 169, Forever Young. I want to enjoy this, but I'm sorry, the song goes on for 8 minutes. But the reason this is above The Fall is because the song does not sound as bad. Also, I'm not sure if this is another song talking about how being young was better or not. 168, Trouble. Usually if I don't have anything to say about a song, then I just ramble on about something, but if your song is so forgettable I can't even think of anything, that is really bad. 167, Not Today. Doesn't really sound like an Imagine Dragons song. Slow songs can be done right, but this is not one of them. 166, Start Over. I legitimately almost fell asleep while listening to this one. 165, Boomerang. To every viewer out there, just know that no human was ever meant to listen to every Imagine Dragons song ever. 164, Next to Me. Hate to say this, but I'm not a fan. On the YouTube version, there's a 5-minute segment before the song and a 2-minute credit sequence after, which is odd. Ironic, considering the song itself also goes on too long. And for some reason, close to the end of the song, they decide to play random sound effects, then keep going on with the song. 163, Continual. Worst song of the Mercury album, which you will be seeing a lot near the bottom of the list. Like Not Today, this is another slow song that is not very good. The instrumental is pretty bad, and apparently someone named Corey Henry is featured here, but I can't hear him, so that's odd. 162, Ferris Wheel, same as the last. Next. 161, Blood. This one is kind of eerie, but that might have mainly been because I listened to this at 5 a.m. Also, I could only find one recording this song with only 400 views, and the recording is very good quality for such a lost song. 160, Hear Me. Whoever made this Instagram music video seems to have forgotten to have the visuals match the audio. Besides that, it sounds like their average song. 159, I Wish. Sounds like a bad The Greatest Showman song, and that's not a compliment. This could do with not sounding like the 5 that came before it. 158, Ready, Aim, Fire. I don't know why I put this so low on part 2's list, but that still doesn't make it great. Goes on a little too long and it doesn't sound that good. 157, Zero. Sounds like the typical Imagine Dragons song, especially especially for a 2018 song, mid-tier. 156, Imagine Dragons. I'm pretty sure this does not count, but whatever. I think this was listed on the Wikipedia list, but it could have been referring to something else. I don't know why this is on the various artists YouTube channel and not Imagine Dragons, but all these facts are more interesting than the song itself. 155, Round and Round. Sounds like the other, 120 Imagine Dragons songs that sound identical to this? 154, Take It Easy. What's new to say? Sounds like the other Mercury album songs. 153, Giants. I kind of wanted to put this one higher, but 1, the vocals and instrumentals don't always match up, and 2, there are parts where he just randomly screams, which kills the song's melody. 152, 30 Lives. Kind of a boring song. How about we move on? 151, Mouth of the River. One time in either 4th, 5th, or 6th grade, the teacher allowed us to listen to songs in class, and I saw someone listening to this. I don't know why they picked this, but it is not that good. 150, Crushed. If I have to give Imagine Dragons something, I do applaud that, even if their songs might not always be good. At least they are trying with these. Anyway, this one's boring. 159, Levitate. The most notable thing about this is that the cover of the song has Chris Pratt on it. Well, at least the cover of their YouTube does. 148, Amsterdam. Boring. 147, Hopeless Opus. I'll give them props for the creative title, even though I forgot the title while writing this. 146, Every Night. When he says every night, you can barely hear when he says every, but besides that, I nearly fell asleep listening to this one. 145, They Don't Like You Like I Do. For some reason, the song isn't that great until the last minute, which if the whole song was just that last minute, it would have been much higher, but as is, it's okay. 144, Tokyo. Not very good for early Imagine Dragons, but not terrible. 143, Monster. If I can give this song anything, I still remember how it sounds even after nearly a year of not listening to it, unless I'm thinking of the wrong song, which is very possible. 142, All Eyes. I don't know how such a short song could be boring, but this one is. 141, Starlight. The fact that even the Imagine Dragons fans in the comments confuse this song with 30 Lives is hilarious. 140, Leave Me. If you want me to leave you, Imagine Dragons, then I'll be more than happy to. 139, Dolphins. I don't know why this song is called Dolphins, but okay, they do not mention dolphins in this song. 138, Release. Call me crazy, but I think Dan let himself down. I would say I don't know what this is about, but I definitely do know that Dan let himself down. 137, Look How Far We've Come. Sounds more like a Maroon 5 song than Imagine Dragons. Also, this is one of their first songs, so the title doesn't really make sense, but whatever. 136, Smoke and Mirrors. How long did it take you to come up with that title if you consider what album this came out in? Also, Dan randomly screams in the song, so rest in peace to headphone users. Well, at least that part was funny. 135, I'll Make It Up to You. The amount of things I have to comment about on this song is precisely 0. 134, It Comes Back to You. I have nothing to say, so I'll just say that to everyone watching this, never order the cherry Coke from Sonic. They put more cherries in that than George Washington's cherry tree, and all of that just floats to the top of the drink. 133, All For You. I had a Mandela effect happen with the song because I thought I already listened to it, but I did not, and whether you think that makes the song worse or not, you tell me. 132, Children of the Sky. Pretty generic song with an impressive music video. What's notable about this song are the comments that are unironically saying this song changes humanity. Like, okay, that is going way too far, especially for a weaker song. 131, Radioactive Live, playing it for us. I'm not sure if this counts, but whatever. Even though it is very hard to top the original, this version could be better. This goes on too long and has a 1-minute guitar solo that did not need to last that long. 130, Gold. Sounds like a beta version of Radioactive, which isn't bad, but not very stellar. 129, Cutthroat. This feels like it was made in the heat of the moment of something, but I don't really know what this is about. So someone gets their driver's license, then goes on a rampage, and then I guess they get their license at the end. Am I missing something? 128, I Was Me. Great title, grammar, and what is this song about again? 127, Boots. There was someone in the comments section making a though obvious joke about this song, saying I'm going back to my boots, referencing a much better song, Roots, that we'll be getting to later. 126, My Life. The instrumental in the first half sounds Halloween-esque. I say first half because it switches genres halfway through. Besides that, it sounds like every other song of theirs from 2021. 125, Dull Knives. This is like Giants if the vocals and instrumentals actually synced correctly, but I think Dan should back up from the mic because you can hear every little noise he makes. I know I can't really be talking, but they're a professional and I am not. 124, Take. I don't care, so how about we move on to the next song. 123 Summer. I would make a joke about how I wish it was summer, but Christmas is pretty close to the day I'm writing the script, even though by the time this video is released, Christmas would have most definitely been over. 122 Volume Drops. Dan sounds a little sus here. Besides that, the violin sounds good, though Off to War does the violin much better. 121 The Pit. Yet again, I do not know how that title relates to this song. Also, Dan sounds off compared to normal here. 120 Destination. The instrumental is decent, but the song goes on too long. 119 Real Life. Since I don't have anything to say, I will compliment this album cover. It looks pretty good. 118 Polaroid. Can I just mention how dumb these lyrics are? Life is like a Polaroid picture, never can fill the void. Am I missing something, or is Dan telling me that cameras cannot fill voids? 117 Peace of Mind. Fine song, but I don't have much to say. 116 Tide. Sounds kind of cool halfway through, but there is a random pause for 5 seconds in the middle of the song for some reason. 115 Digital. Not very good, I want to go to bed. 114 Thief. Why is there a trend to these Imagine Dragons songs not matching their title? The Pop-Tart ad I got before this song was more interesting than the song itself. 113, I don't know why. This sounds like a worse version of Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd. 112, February. Back to having titles that don't match the songs, are we? 111, Tiptoe. It's fine, I guess. That is all. 110, Birds. The song and the music video don't really match, but the music video looks pretty good. Also, this was one of their last songs until they made their big comeback with White Christmas in late 2020. This was released in summer 2019. 109, Birds featuring Elisa. Sounds just like the original with some added vocals, which makes this just a little better than the original. 108, Born to Be Yours. The instrumental sounds good, though it sounds like a royalty-free song. 107, Love of Mine. Nothing much to say, but this was made after the Mercury album, and at least this is better than that was. 106, Battle Cry. This Smoke and Mirrors album is not as bad as Mercury, but it is arguably worse and not much better. 105, Darkness. I can't even tell if I've heard this one before or not because all these songs sound the same. 104, Burnout. That title describes me right now. The fact that I've never made that joke in the original video is surprising. 103, Curse. These songs are like a curse, and since I have nothing to say about most of these songs, I may just start doing puns on the titles instead. 102, I'm so sorry. What is Dan sorry for? I don't know, because he never tells us. 101, Underdog. This is one of their least viewed songs on their channel. That's really it. 100, One Day. Sounds similar to It's Okay, which will be later down the list, but I give the song props for not being too long. 99, Stuck. Not very good, but at least Dan is energetic, which I can respect. 98, Drive. I want to take a long, far drive away from these songs. 97, Dream. This song is still better than the YouTuber Dream. 96, I'm Happy. Pretty sweet song, though lots of Imagine Dragons songs, especially in the Mercury album, are about sadness, so that's odd they released this. 95, Love. I think this song is about racism or something. I don't really know since this song is so boring. 94, Easy. The fact I can't tell like 120 of these songs apart from each other is embarrassing. 93, West Coast. Fine song. That's all I got. 92, Younger. Feels like a prequel to Roots, which will be reviewed later, and luckily this isn't bad, but not as good as that excellent song. 91, Cha-Ching Till We Grow Older. This is just fine, but out of the 3 Imagine Dragons songs talk about how good being young is. This, Younger, and Roots. This did come out first. 90, Bleeding Out. Not much to say. 89, Machine. Can't hear the lyrics well, and I don't understand why this song is called Machine, since they only reference that title once in the song, but whatever. 88, Rise Up. Fine song, but still better than a few of their other songs. Well done on your 5 out of 10 song. 87, Rocks. I appreciate this song doesn't overstay its welcome, but it's fine. 86, I Love You All the Time. This is a weird song for them to cover, but alright. I enjoy the funky instrumental, but the song doesn't feel like it's meant to be a full song, because by the 2-minute mark, I was already feeling tired. 85, Living Musical. The song flows well until it starts to go on too long, but it isn't the worst song to suffer from this problem. 84, Cool Out. Sounds like every other Origins album song, which is the first time I brought that album up, surprisingly so far. 83, Curtain Call. The beginning and end sound like they were straight from an old Disney movie, but I guess that's cool. 82, The Unknown. I saw someone say this sounds like it was from a phone ad, and I can't argue with that. 81, Walking the Wire. I don't say this often, but this could do with a music video. Well, apparently there is one, but it's posted on this random other channel. Why didn't the official account post that? I don't know. Well, I didn't look look at the music video, so I don't know if it's fan-made or not, but whatever. 80, Symphony, pretty good by Mercury album standards, but they've made better songs. 79, Uptight. When I say I have nothing to say about a song, I really mean it. A lot of these songs just blend together. 78, Not Giving In. I don't know what he's not giving into, but alright. Anyway, the marimba sounds good, but this song goes on too long. 77, Bubble. This was posted to YouTube in 2022, despite being made in like 2012 for some reason. That made me realize how energetic they are now compared to their older songs, which is weird because you'd think it'd be the other way around, but no. 76, My Fault. Sounds like a worse version of Wake Me Up When September Ends, which is not from this band, but whatever. I recommend you listen to that instead. 75, Falling Into You, I'm Just a Sailor and Insane. These are like 3 different songs, but I all counted them as number 75. I kind of forgot to not do that. These 3 songs are weird since they all are just fragments of Imagine Dragons songs, so I put them all together since they are so similar. 74, It's Okay. Another song that sounds like Maroon 5. Anyway, the song is decent, or you could say it's okay. 73, No Time for Toxic People. Pretty relatable title, but I don't have much to say. 72, Working Man. Not bad. That's it. 71, Second Chances. The fact I was the 69th comment on this video is more interesting than anything else. 70, Thunder featuring Khaled. This one is barely a song because it's just a mix of 2 songs, but whatever. I expected this to sound like trash, but credit where it's due. When they say Young Dumb as a replacement of Thunder, that was clever, and some of the transitions between the 2 songs are smooth. 69, Hands. Okay, this is barely an Imagine Dragons song, but it's on the Wikipedia list, so I'll count it. This is made by like a trillion other musicians, which implies whoever is ranking those singers has to also listen to this. Anyway, this song discusses the wonder of hands. No joke, that's it. Surprisingly, the part with Dan Reynolds was the best. 68, Bullet in a Gun. I'm gonna go ahead and just not make a joke about that title. Anyway, this sounds weird, but not that bad. 67, Only. Fine song, though generic. 66, I Need a Minute. I also need a minute to take a break from these songs. 65, To Fall Down. This is a premium song because they never released this, but so did like 20 of the songs I'm reviewing. Honestly, this is better than all other released songs. 64, Clouds. This song is a roller coaster of quality. Sometimes it sounds terrible and sometimes it sounds amazing, so I'll just put it here. 63, Emma. This song has nothing special, but this is one of their few songs to have no comments, so how about I be the first? What should I comment? Poopy? Yeah, sure. 62, Bad Liar. A little weak for such a popular song, but ain't bad. 61, Dancing in the Dark. This is neither a cover of the Ed Sheeran song, nor a cover of the Rihanna song. And though this is not as good as those 2, this is not bad. 60, Blood. This song is unlisted for some reason. I don't know why it is, but shout out to whoever compiled the playlist I found this off of. Whoever you may be. 59, You Don't Stop. I do not understand why they did not release this, but whatever. 58, I Wish You Well. This one isn't really a song since so much of the song is lost and in really bad qualities besides this one random 20-second part. And even though this sounds like straight trash, it goes above most of these other legitimate songs because at least I felt something. I'm not gonna play a clip this time because it's so loud. No jump scares, don't worry, but you can look it up yourself. 57, On Top of the World RAC remix. Pretty fine song, and for some reason on the Imagine Dragons YouTube channel, this was posted before the original was. 56, Natural. Pretty decent song, though a slight bit overrated, but I don't really get what is happening in the music video. 55, I Don't Like Myself. What's notable about this song is that the music video for it came out right after my first Imagine Dragons ranking. Anyway, not bad for a Mercury album song. 54, I Bet My Life But Still remix. I wish this went on a little less long, but this ain't bad. The instrumental's good. 53, Speak to Me. This one's actually not bad. Also, in their 2008 songs, there's always this one girl that sings in them, and I have no idea who she is. I think her name's like Teresa or something, but whatever. 52, Who We Are. I understand what they meant by it doesn't matter if you've gone too far, but the way they worded it, it sounded like they were defending a criminal. Anyway, a fine song. 51, Heart Upon My Sleeve. Sounds fine even though it goes on too long. 50, Cover Up. Weird instrumental, but still pretty good. 59, Friction. On part 1, someone said I didn't include the song, which I did, so I think they need to take their pills. Anyway, this doesn't sound like an Imagine Dragons song, but it's pretty good. 48, The River. Sounds like some other song that I've heard on the radio. 47, Thunder featuring K-Flay. Fine song, but when the instrumental cuts off, it's a bit annoying. 49, Nothing Left to Say. Decent song, but I barely even knew this was a song because the YouTube video for this song says our film at the end, which makes it hard to identify this as a song. 45, Sharks. Pretty swell, and the only thing to note about this one is that the Mercury album began right after the song. 44, I Don't Mind. Everything is pretty good in the song, that is all. 43, Sirens. What's weird about this one is that this came out right after Crushed, and this one is actually pretty good. 42, Blur. Final song in the Mercury album, and at least it ended out on a bang. This song's pretty good. 41, Fallen. Pretty catchy song with a good instrumental chorus and everything else. 40, Wrecked. Going into this, I expected it to be garbage, but it was actually pretty good. Apparently, this was dedicated to someone, and at least whoever that was actually had a good song about them. 39, Easy Come, Easy Go. Pretty good and decently sad song with a good chorus and instrumental. 38, Bottle of Coke. This is a weird song, man. I wish the whole song sounded like the ending, but it sounds pretty good because the ending sounds pretty good, but the song was still decent. 37, Higher Ground. Another song I went into expecting to be bad, but this one's pretty good. The chorus starts off kind of bad, but gets better the more the song goes on. 36, Celine. This song's instrumental sounds straight out of Metopia. Anyways, I don't know who Celine is, but she should at least be glad she has a good song. 35, Unseen. The title is ironic considering how hard it was to find some of the songs in this album. Also, embarrassingly, this 2008 album with the CD is probably one of their best albums, even though it was like first or second. 34, Thunder. I don't know why so many people consider this to be the worst song of all time. Like, have you even listened to a song ever? Fun fact, this song came out right after Believers, so their two most popular songs were consecutive, so they were going strong in 2017. Anyway, the song's fine. 33, Monday. Not bad, and the music video adds some energy to the song, but everyone dies at the end, which will not be the first or last time that happens. 32, Hand in My Pocket. Another cover song, and though not as good as the original, practically as expected by now. This is still a fine song, though you can't really complain about being underpaid when you are a musician. 31, Blank Space / Stand By Me. A cover song, which is kind of rare. Anyway, kind of a soft song for Imagine Dragons standards. Note that these guys made Warriors, but this song is still good, even though the original is better. 30, It's Time acoustic version. Besides the lyrics, this doesn't seem at all similar to the original It's Time, but that isn't a bad thing. This is probably one of the best acoustic covers I've heard, which admittedly is not saying much, but hey. 29, It's Time. To my knowledge, this is the first professional Imagine Dragons song, and this kind of popularized their band, so I can see why they raved about the song so much in 2012. And all the popularity is not undeserved, because the song's pretty good. 28, It's Time Jailbreak Remix. Yeah, you're noticing a trend with these. But hey, if they're gonna reuse the song this much, it's good to have the song be catchy. This is also very similar to the original with some added instrumentals that elevate this above the original. 27, Warriors. Gotta give Dan some credit. He really lets it out in this song. Weird, this song does not have an official music video release. Well, apparently there is one, but it's just League of Legends gameplay. Considering how popular it is, but whatever. Also, like 5 days ago, someone played this at our talent show. Just thought that would be interesting. 26, I Bet My Life. Pretty good song, and another one where someone dies. Anyway, there is a scream as a backing instrumental, I guess the word is, and it sounds kind of bad, but the rest of the instrumental makes up for it. 25, I Bet My Life Alex Adair remix, the original with a better instrumental, but a weaker chorus. Still better than the first. 24, Believer featuring Lil Wayne. Pretty good, the new instrumental still sounds good, and Dan and Lil Wayne seem like they're having fun. 23, Believer. 8-year-old me gave this song too much credit, but it's still good. I think everyone has heard this song, so what new things can I say? 22, Sucker for Pain. Great song, though it did not deserve the number 1 I gave it in part 2. Speaking of number 1, number 21, number 1. What I said about Giants is about the opposite of this song. The beginning doesn't sync up very well, but the chorus later on saves this song luckily. 20, Lonely. Really good song that perfects the usual qualities. Good singing, good chorus, good instrumental. 19, Waves. You're telling me this came from the Mercury album? Well, I guess Bones also did, but whatever. Easily the best of that album and one of the best of the whole band. This one is mainly good because of the great chorus. 18, Pantomime. Weird to put such an unprofessional song this high, but if you listen to it, you'd agree. I like the music video and how the band members react to the computer messages and then start playing Plants vs. Zombies. Anyway, good song. 17, Take My Heart Away. Now for this one, I have absolutely no idea why this was not released because it actually sounds pretty good. A nice upbeat song that you should go listen to. 16, Wings. Again, not really a song since this was made for a game, but this was on the Wikipedia list, so apparently it actually does count. This doesn't even sound like an Imagine Dragons song, but it is, and it is very good. Though this song has no lyrics, unless you count the amazing lines yo yo as lyrics. If they played this on the basketball court, I would get first place, no challenge. 15, Demons. Do not ask why I am so familiar with this song. Anyway, Dan talks about his demons inside or something, but this song is catchy, so I don't really care. Sorry, Dan. 14, White Christmas. Call me biased if you want, but this song is as high as it is because it is pretty funny. You could definitely tell this was made during the pandemic, which I guess is why they made like 2 songs in 2020, because this is entirely filmed in the band members' houses. Houses. This version is obviously not as good as The Drifters, but what really is, and being the second best cover of White Christmas ain't bad. 13, Hole Inside Our Chests, really underrated song, though falls off a little after the very beginning, but a very varied mix of instruments, and Dan singing is good as usual. 12, Lost Cause. I would say this band is a lost cause, but they decide to put out one of their greatest songs of all time here. Dan, as usual, sounds like he's actually sad/mad about something, and though I do not know what the thing is, this song is masterpiece. 11, Bones. Yes, I know. What was number 1 on the original list didn't even crack the top 10. I was being way too generous to this song in part 1, but it is still good, and if I had a nickel for every time Dan did the Gangnam Style in a music video, I'd have 2 nickels. The first was in White Christmas. 10, Enemy. Normally this would have been around 5 or even 8 spots higher, but I'm sorry, I've listened to this song so many times, it has kind of lowered the quality for me. That is not at all saying the song is bad, oh no, but if I hadn't listened to this so much, it would be better. Also, I recommend listening to a version without the JID part. It isn't very good. 9, Off to War. I know I said the CD album was good, but why is this song so good? This song is amazing, and I was way too harsh on it in part 2. Whoever the violinist was in the song deserves a raise. Their violin skills carried the song this high. 8, On Top of the World. I like the double meaning of this song, with the music video literally having him be at the top of the world. Pretty catchy song that I would actually listen to in my free time, which isn't that what all songs strive to do? 7, Shots. For such a viewed song, I weirdly never hear people talk about this one. It's a shame because this is really good, and say with me, the chorus is very good too. 6, America. Speaking of songs that don't get enough recognition, America is one of Imagine Dragons' most underrated songs, if not the most underrated. Great instrumental, amazing chorus, and the song is even a little sad sometimes. 5, Whatever It Takes. Please ask me why I put this song so low in my original video. This song is amazing. This is actually my dad's favorite Imagine Dragons song, and for good reason. Stellar chorus, amazing instrumental, and Dan dies at the end. Amazing. 4, Roots. Here we are, the song you've been waiting for, which I guess could apply to any of the top 3 songs, but whatever. This takes the Being Young Was So Much Better idea from Cha-Ching and Younger, even though this came out after Younger, but whatever, and perfects it with this catchy masterpiece of a song. 3, Follow You Summer 21 version. Okay, this one's not exactly fair, but whatever. I like the drums they added to the instrumental, though they cannot top the originals, but what really can? This is definitely worth a listen. 2, Radioactive. Of course this is one of their best songs. No joke, one of the greatest songs of all time. It feels like Dan is really letting all of his emotions out with this song. What really makes this more impressive is that this was only their second professional song, and even though its time got them popular, this song really put Imagine Dragons on the map. 1, Follow You. And finally, we end with this song. Yes, this went from number 3 on part 1 to number 1. Like I said last time, you may know how much I like this song if you watch my older videos, and for good reason. As soon as Dan stepped up to that mic, I knew this was going to be one of my favorite songs. This song is so good, it's even in my music playlist, which should be every band and musician's goal. This song deserves the number 1 spot. And with that, we have concluded every Imagine Dragons song, hopefully forever, but who knows, maybe I'll remake this video in 10 years or something. My next ranking I plan to do will be every Maroon 5 song, then every Coldplay song, then I think I'll be done ranking, well, at least musicians, and at least for a while. So anyway, subscribe I guess, and I will see you later.